Nothing says professional like accidentally live streaming your own chaos. Welcome to the internet's favorite stage, real life with no off button. 1. The professor who forgot the class. Wasliv, a history professor at a major university, started his virtual lecture with the camera accidentally pointing at his cat. For 5 glorious minutes, students watched Professor Whiskers groom himself while the man loudly argued with Siri about setting a reminder for the downfall of Rome. When he finally turned the camera around, he was mid-mouthful of cereal and said, "Oh, you're early." The class had been recording the entire time. The video later surfaced on the college's website with the title, "Ancient Empires and Modern Embarrassments." The man tried to play it cool, saying it was a metaphor for human imperfection. Sure, professor, maybe you just accidentally streamed breakfast in a breakdown. 2. The mayor's mic was still on. During a virtual city council meeting, one mayor famously forgot to mute his mic after declaring a 5-minute recess. He immediately launched into a full-blown rant about how boring everyone was, punctuated by a loud bathroom flush that echoed through the chamber feed like a victory horn. The internet had a field day. Toilet of Democracy trended for a week. His office later issued a statement claiming the flush sound was a glitch. Yeah, because plumbing has been known to glitch like that. The silver lining? Attendance at the next council meeting tripled. Turns out nothing boosts civic engagement like waiting for Act 2 of an accidental bathroom concert. 3. The news anchor and the invisible pants. One early morning anchor got a little too comfortable working from home. He wore a crisp blazer, tie, and, unfortunately, absolutely no pants. Confident that the camera only showed him waist up, he stood up mid-broadcast to grab some coffee. Millions of viewers instantly saw more than they ever wanted to about his commitment to casual Fridays. The clip went viral, and for months, colleagues called him the brief reporter. His network didn't fire him, though. Ratings actually went up. Apparently, viewers appreciate authenticity, especially when it's paired with plaid boxers and panic. 4. The priest who accidentally summoned Snapchat. Instead of the spirit during an online Sunday service, a small-town priest tried to live-stream Mass for his congregation. Unfortunately, he'd left Snapchat filters active. For 20 straight minutes, parishioners watched a solemn sermon delivered by a man with sparkly rainbow eyes, a dog's tongue, and at one point, a flower crown. The priest, completely unaware, gave a heartfelt lecture on humility while his halo literally glowed pink. The congregation stayed respectfully silent in the comments because no one wanted to interrupt what felt like divine comedy. When he finally saw the replay, he laughed so hard he called it a modern miracle of joy. The clip went viral as Father Fetch, the Holy Filter. He later said it brought more young people to church than anything else he'd ever done. Moral of the story? Even the Lord works in mysterious Wi-Fi connections. 5. The politician who forgot the camera ads. 10 lies. A senator on a live Zoom interview was doing great. Polished, confident, perfectly framed, until he forgot the meeting was still live and muttered, "Man, I hate pretending to care about this." His mic was crisp. His career, less so. The host's frozen smile became an instant meme. Within minutes, every news outlet replayed the clip like it was a slow-motion car crash of sincerity. The senator issued a statement claiming context was missing. Sure, the context being that he thought the internet had an off switch. His approval rating dropped faster than his Wi-Fi signal. To be fair, he did teach one valuable civic lesson. Never trust a man whose honesty only works in airplane mode. 6. The fitness instructor who broadcasted her lunch break. A perky online trainer finished her live workout session, or so she thought. She left her camera running and immediately transitioned from "Let's move, team" to demolishing a cheeseburger like it owed her money. For 10 minutes, thousands of viewers watched the woman who just said, "Fuel your body cleanly, inhale fries like oxygen." When she finally realized she was still live, her reaction was a scream that sounded like a smoke alarm. But instead of backlash, the internet crowned her the most relatable coach alive. Her subscriber count doubled overnight. Turns out, people love fitness motivation, just not the kind that makes them feel bad about eating dessert. 7. The CEO who forgot his background was a disaster. A tech CEO went live to announce his company's big merger. Everything looked professional, until a sharp-eyed viewer noticed a reflection in his office window. His toddler running around behind him wearing nothing but a Batman mask and wielding a plunger like Excalibur. The CEO froze mid-sentence as the chat exploded with comments like, "Batman saves capitalism," and "Best PR stunt ever." He tried to play it off by saying, "We encourage creativity in our household." The clip racked up millions of views, and the company stock actually went up that day. Investors decided if he could handle a live toddler ambush, he could probably handle a market crash too. 8. The teacher and the surprise substitute named Alexa. A middle school teacher was live streaming her class from home when her Amazon Alexa started answering every rhetorical question. "What is the capital of France?" she asked dramatically. "Paris," Alexa replied, confidently and slightly smug. The students went wild. The teacher tried to power through, but every time she paused, Alexa chimed in with another fun fact. Eventually, Alexa took over the lesson completely while the teacher sat, in quiet defeat, sipping her coffee like a veteran of the digital war. The clip became legendary under the title, "AI Takes Over 7th Grade Geography." The school board later joked that Alexa would be considered for tenure. Meanwhile, the teacher learned the hardest classroom management rule of the 21st century. Never compete with an appliance that has better timing. 9. The news reporter and the escaping farm. During a live segment on local agriculture, a field reporter stood in front of a picturesque cow pasture until one of the cows decided to make a break for fame. Mid-sentence, a full-grown Holstein charged right behind him, followed by a farmer yelling, "Don't run, she likes the camera." The reporter's eyes widened to dinner plate size as he instinctively sprinted out of frame, microphone still in hand, shouting, "Back to you in the studio." The anchors were laughing so hard they couldn't even finish the segment. The station later replayed it in slow motion with dramatic music. The runaway cow, affectionately nicknamed Diva, got her own fan page. The reporter, he now refuses to film anywhere that doesn't come with concrete floors and a door lock. 10. The gamer dad, who didn't realize Twitch wasn't a Zoom call. A dad in his 40s tried to join his son's online game club, assuming it was some kind of school project. He clicked the wrong link and accidentally went live on Twitch to an audience of 12,000 viewers. For an hour, he sat there squinting at his screen, sipping coffee, and occasionally muttering things like, "Is this thing on?" and "Where's the spreadsheet?" Viewers flooded the chat with encouragement, treating him like a new kind of wholesome streamer. At one point, he got up to take a phone call, leaving the stream running with nothing but a potted plant in frame. By the time his son discovered what happened, Dad had gone viral as the accidental streamer. He didn't even know what Twitch was, but he ended up with sponsorship offers and a fan base that begged him to come back and check the spreadsheet. 11. The makeup artist who forgot to end the tutorial. An influencer was doing a live 5-minute makeup routine, complete with cheerful commentary and fake-it-till-you-blend-it confidence. She nailed the look, said goodbye to her viewers, and then kept going. For the next 40 minutes, she thought she was off camera and began doing what every normal person does after filming, complaining, loudly, about lighting, trolls, and the absolute audacity of her left eyebrow. The chat never ended. Fans watched in stunned silence as their beauty guru transformed into a stand-up comic armed with unfiltered honesty. When she finally saw the comments saying, "You're still live," she froze mid-rant like a mannequin in crisis. Instead of apologizing, she leaned in and said, "Well, now you know the real secret to confidence: caffeine and rage." Her sales tripled overnight. 12. The weatherman who left the green screen. On a TV meteorologist forgot to switch his green screen off during a live stream rehearsal and wandered in front of it wearing a bright green tie. Instantly, his torso vanished. To the audience, it looked like a disembodied head floating across the United States. Unaware, he kept gesturing seriously toward what appeared to be his invisible body, warning people about storms in this region. The internet christened him the Headless Forecaster. The clip became mandatory viewing in meteorology schools as a case study in humility and fashion choices. His station even capitalized on it by selling transparent tie merchandise for charity. He took it in stride, joking, "At least now people are finally listening to what I'm saying instead of checking out my tie collection." 13. The chef who accidentally went gourmet gothic. A cheerful cooking vlogger decided to host a live Sunday dinner with friends stream. She had perfect lighting, great energy, and one fatal mistake. She left her camera's Halloween filter on. The moment she turned on her stove, the entire screen flickered red and black, bats flew across her face, and her eyes glowed like a demon's. For 30 surreal minutes, viewers watched what looked like Satan making lasagna. The comment section was divided between horror and applause. She didn't notice until halfway through when she glanced at the monitor and screamed loud enough to peak the mic. After that, she leaned into it, rebranding herself as the Underworld Chef. She now does themed recipes like pasta from the abyss and infernal tiramisu, all thanks to one accidentally spooky livestream. 14. The zookeeper who forgot the mic was hot. During a livestream tour at a zoo, a cheerful guide was explaining fun facts about flamingos until a pelican stole the show. The bird ambushed him from behind, snatched his hat, and dropped it into the pond. Thinking his mic was muted, he turned around and muttered, "You feathered little thief. I hope you get audited." Unfortunately, it wasn't muted. The audience roared with laughter. Within hours, the clip had millions of views. Kids loved it. Parents loved it. Even the zoo's PR department loved it. They released official merch reading, "You feathered little thief." The zookeeper embraced his accidental fame and started hosting a series called Animals Who Ruin My Day. The pelican, meanwhile, got its own fan art and is now known as the tax bird. 15. The news anchor who brought his cat to work. During a live home broadcast, one anchor's cat decided it was her moment to shine. As he delivered a somber report about local politics, the cat leaped gracefully onto his shoulder and began kneading his head like pizza dough. The anchor tried to maintain composure, but his eyes started watering from fur-induced allergies. The control room refused to cut away. Viewers at home were treated to the sight of a man battling both civic corruption and a feline kneading session in real time. The internet adored it. Someone even edited dramatic music over the clip, turning it into a trailer titled Breaking Muse. The anchor leaned into the chaos, adopting the tagline, "Serious news, occasional cat." Ratings went up 30%, proving once again that nothing boosts journalism like an adorable live attack. 16. The musician who live-streamed his own breakup song, accidentally. A struggling singer-songwriter decided to test his new microphone by strumming a few chords. He thought the stream was private, just him, his guitar, and his heartbreak. What he didn't know was that he was live to 1,000 followers. As he sang an unreleased ballad titled, "You Took My Charger and My Soul," his ex-girlfriend joined the comments and typed, "It was our charger, Dylan." Chaos. The chat exploded. Fans took sides. Someone even remixed the argument into a dance track. By morning, the breakup song had 1 million plays, and Dylan, who'd only meant to test his audio levels, had accidentally launched his career. He told Rolling Stone later, "Sometimes you don't need a PR team. You just need bad timing and Wi-Fi." 17. The scientist who forgot the camera was zoomed in during a live NASA press conference. A scientist leaned in to read a comment on the monitor, not realizing the livestream camera was zoomed in to cinematic close-up. Millions of viewers were suddenly face-to-face with a single giant eyeball reciting orbital mechanics. Twitter lit up instantly. NASA reveals black hole. The poor man didn't realize what happened until a coworker whispered, "You're terrifying the internet." He calmly leaned back and said, "Apologies. I was investigating a gravitational anomaly on my screen." That single line made him a legend. Memes turned him into the space cyclops, and fans petitioned for him to narrate sci-fi audiobooks. The moral? In science, you can spend decades chasing fame, or you can just lean too close to the lens. 18. The kindergarten teacher who forgot her class. Was watching during a live online lesson, a kindergarten teacher told her students to draw something you love, and then turned to her phone to order coffee, loudly complaining about tiny gremlins who never listen. Within seconds, one 5-year-old said, "Miss Parker, are we the gremlins?" She froze, realizing the mic was still on. The chat filled with emojis of shocked cartoon frogs. Instead of panicking, she took a deep breath and said, "Yes, and you're the cutest gremlins I've ever met." Parents loved it. The clip went viral as Teacher of Chaos. The next day, her students showed up to class wearing homemade Gremlin Squad t-shirts. It turned into a whole theme week: messy hair, silly hats, and zero shame. Sometimes honesty really is the best classroom policy. 19. The pastor who left the livestream running during confession cleanup. After a heartfelt online sermon, a small-town pastor forgot to end the broadcast and started cleaning up the altar, humming "Highway to Hell" under his breath. For 10 glorious minutes, the congregation at home watched him sweep, whistle, and occasionally scold the church vacuum cleaner for judging him. When he realized what happened, he looked straight at the camera and said, "Well, I guess that hymn wasn't in the bulletin." The internet declared him the rock and roll reverend. Instead of shame, he leaned in, opening every sermon afterward with a classic rock reference. Church attendance doubled. Turns out, people don't mind a little sin if it comes with good taste in music. 20. The CEO who forgot his presentation was shared. A nervous tech CEO was presenting quarterly results on a live company stream when he clicked the wrong tab. Instead of financial charts, the entire screen filled with his Amazon shopping cart, 34 items of beard oil, novelty socks, and something labeled medieval stress sword. He stared in horror as 2,000 employees gasped. Without missing a beat, he said, "As you can see, we're diversifying into lifestyle products." The chat went feral. Memes appeared before the stream ended. Investors actually applauded his honesty. Weeks later, his company's marketing team released a limited edition beard oil called Quarterly Calm. It sold out in hours. Accident or not, it turned out to be the best product pitch of his life. 21. The reality star, who didn't realize the camera was still rolling. A reality show contestant gave a tearful goodbye speech, thanking fans and promising to stay humble. But when the director yelled, "Cut," which he didn't hear through his earpiece, he immediately turned to his assistant and said, "Make sure they get my good side when I walk off." The camera was still rolling. The unedited clip aired live, exposing him as the human embodiment of irony. Within hours, the internet crowned him king of humble brag. He tried to spin it by releasing a perfume called Authenticity, but it only made things worse. The public didn't cancel him, though. They turned him into a meme. Every time someone faked modesty online, people replied with his still frame and the caption, "Stay humble, bro." 22. The news reporter who live-streamed a ghost. A local reporter was filming a live Halloween segment from an old courthouse rumored to be haunted. She laughed it off, saying, "Ghosts aren't real," just as a door creaked open behind her on its own. Her face went through every human emotion in half a second: skepticism, panic, surrender. She shrieked, dropped the mic, and bolted off screen, leaving viewers with 10 seconds of empty hallway and eerie silence. The station replayed it all day. Paranormal fans claimed it was proof. Skeptics called it excellent improv. The reporter later returned to the same spot to interview the ghost, holding a flashlight like a hostage negotiator. That second stream drew more viewers than the actual news. As one commenter put it, "Finally, some spirited journalism." 23. The grandma who accidentally went viral on TikTok Live. A sweet 78-year-old grandma thought she was FaceTiming her granddaughter to ask for banana bread advice. Instead, she accidentally went live on TikTok for 6 straight hours. During that time, she narrated her day like a cozy podcast from another dimension, folding laundry, scolding her cat, and reading a grocery list out loud with the intensity of a Shakespeare monologue. By hour 3, she had 40,000 viewers sending digital roses and calling her the internet's Nana. When her granddaughter finally called to tell her she was famous, Grandma just said, "Well, if they like laundry, wait until I vacuum." The next day, she started an actual channel called Hot Tea and Hot Takes, where she now reviews British mysteries and air fryers. She didn't just forget she was live, she accidentally invented comfort television. 24. The gamer who left his mic on during a rage break. A professional gamer was competing in an online tournament with thousands watching when he lost a match by mere seconds. Furious, he slammed his keyboard, stormed off, and assumed he'd muted everything. He hadn't. The audience got a full, unedited 10-minute meltdown, primal screaming, dramatic pacing, and a monologue about ungrateful pixels. Then, suddenly, he returned, calm, composed, sipping a smoothie, and said, "Technical issues." The internet instantly clipped both moments side by side, titling it, "From Rage to Zen in 60 Seconds." Sponsors loved the publicity. He hated the nickname Smoothie Rage Guy. But deep down, he knew he'd achieved something special. Proof that no matter how tough gaming gets, redemption is just one dairy-based beverage away. 25. The meteorologist who live-streamed a tornado from his driveway. A small-town weatherman went viral after stepping outside mid-broadcast to get a better look at a forming tornado. The camera followed him as he stood in his driveway, tie flapping, saying, "Well, folks, it's definitely windy." Seconds later, the wind ripped his umbrella into orbit. Viewers were torn between panic and applause. He calmly jogged back inside, hair sideways, and said, "I can confirm it's a tornado." The clip hit every major network within hours. The station's lawyers begged him never to do it again, while fans begged for a sequel. He became a meme called the human windsock. His takeaway? If you can't beat the weather, at least give it a show. 26. The CEO who didn't know the filter was still on a corporate livestream meant to announce a billion-dollar partnership turned into a digital circus when the CEO's video software glitched, leaving him stuck with a cartoon hamster. Filter. For 20 minutes, a squeaky-voiced hamster in a business suit confidently discussed quarterly revenue and strategic synergy. The investors tried to stay professional, but someone snorted audibly on the call, and the rest was history. The company's stock dipped briefly, then skyrocketed after the video went viral, sparking thousands of memes captioned "Hamster Capitalism." The CEO later leaned in, releasing a charity NFT titled "Business Rodent." He summed it up best: "You can lose control of your image, or you can monetize it." 27. The teacher who forgot her husband was in his underwear. A high school teacher began her live English lesson at home, passionately reading Shakespeare, until her husband wandered behind her in nothing but boxers, holding a bowl of cereal and asking, "Have you seen my phone charger?" She froze mid-Hamlet soliloquy as the class erupted in digital chaos. Within minutes, the clip had spread school-wide. The next morning, her students showed up in virtual backgrounds of cereal boxes as tribute. Instead of embarrassment, she turned it into an impromptu literature lesson. "This," she said, "is called dramatic irony." The husband later became a meme known as the Serial Hamlet. If Shakespeare were alive today, he'd probably write The Stream of Errors. 28. The news anchor who forgot his kid was home. Midway through a serious segment on the economy, a toddler stormed into the frame wielding a plastic sword, followed by the family dog and a trail of goldfish crackers. The anchor tried to stay composed, calmly discussing inflation while wrestling the sword away and shouting, "Not now, Daddy's on TV!" The clip was instantly legendary. Viewers didn't remember a word about interest rates, only that this man fought valiantly for professionalism while being attacked by preschool chaos. The network embraced it, calling the segment real-life economics. The anchor later admitted that parenthood is like live television, unscripted, unpredictable, and occasionally covered in cracker dust. 29. The astronaut who forgot the mic was Liv from space. During a live feed from the International Space Station, an astronaut floated past the camera muttering, "I can't believe we're out of coffee in space." The world heard it. NASA's PR team facepalmed so hard it registered as seismic activity. But the internet adored it. "Space needs Starbucks" trended globally, and coffee companies raced to send beans to orbit. The astronaut became a folk hero, nicknamed Captain Caffeine. When asked later if he regretted the slip, he said, "Not really. Humanity should know that even in space, Mondays still suck." It became the most relatable thing NASA ever broadcast. 30. The grandma who thought YouTube was Google. A grandmother wanted to search for pie recipes and accidentally opened a YouTube live stream instead. She leaned close to the webcam and said, "Apple pie near me." Thousands of viewers watched as she tried different phrases. "Pie near me louder." Someone in chat politely typed, "Ma'am, this is live." She gasped, said, "Good heavens," and disappeared for a full minute, only to return with her cat and say, "Well, since you're here, do you want to see my pie?" The stream hit 1 million views by morning. The internet crowned her Grandma Google. She now has her own baking channel where her motto is, "I came for pie, stayed for fame." 31. The politician who forgot his background was a mess. A state representative went live to deliver a powerful message about leadership. His speech was solid, but the background wasn't. Behind him, viewers could clearly see a half-eaten pizza, an unmade bed, and what appeared to be a life-size cardboard cutout of himself in a cowboy hat. Within minutes, social media exploded with comments like, "The true face of multitasking," and "Sir, your leadership smells like pepperoni." His team tried damage control, claiming the pizza was a symbol of late-night dedication. The public wasn't buying it. He ended up embracing the chaos, saying, "If you can't trust a man who forgets to clean his room, who can you trust?" The next day, he posted a follow-up stream titled "Leadership and Laundry." It pulled double the viewers of his original speech. Turns out, authenticity and a little cheese grease go a long way. 32. The fitness guru who forgot her camera was still on. After leading a grueling live boot camp, a fitness influencer said goodbye to her viewers, smiled, and then collapsed onto the floor like a defeated noodle. The camera kept rolling as she whispered, "I think my soul left my body." For 20 glorious minutes, thousands watched her crawl to her water bottle, eat a cookie, and mutter, "No pain, no snacks." Fans adored the honesty. She went from Instagram perfect trainer to patron saint of post-workout suffering. The clip spawned thousands of memes, including one that read, "My 2025 energy." Instead of deleting it, she rebranded her channel around realistic fitness, posting blooper reels and snack breaks between workouts. She didn't just build muscle, she built a movement for everyone who's ever faked enthusiasm while dying inside. 33. The zoo worker who didn't know parrots could swear. During a live educational stream at a wildlife park, a zookeeper proudly introduced the audience to a group of rescued parrots. Everything was wholesome until the birds started heckling. One shouted, "Oi, Steve," followed by a word that rhymes with duck. Another chimed in with, "Who taught you to drive?" The zookeeper froze, mortified, while the parrots continued their stand-up routine. The audience howled with laughter. The video racked up millions of views overnight, and the zoo leaned in, dubbing the group the Foul-Mouthed Five. The keeper later explained they were rescues from a pub, which in hindsight explained a lot. Now they headline their own family-friendly show with a 5-second delay, just in case. 34. The news reporter who got ambushed by a goat. A reporter was covering a heartwarming story about a petting zoo reopening when one of the animals decided to take over. Mid-sentence, a goat rammed straight into her leg and stole her cue cards. The camera captured her chasing it across the pen, yelling, "Give me back my story, sir!" The goat triumphantly chewed the script live on air. Viewers called it the great escape of journalism. The clip made late-night TV, and the reporter became an accidental meme captioned, "Breaking Body." She took it in stride, saying, "At least someone enjoyed my work." Months later, the goat was adopted, and she attended the ceremony to present it with a tiny press badge. 35. The teacher who accidentally shared her browser tabs. A high school teacher was screen sharing for an online lesson when she forgot to close her other tabs. Alongside the math slideshow were open searches for how to survive teenagers, wine pairings for stress, and cheapest flights to anywhere. Students lost it. One politely said, "Miss, you might want to close your tabs," which made her laugh so hard she cried. Instead of hiding it, she turned the moment into a life lesson. Even adults have bad math days. The clip spread across teacher forums as the ultimate relatable fail. The school didn't punish her, they promoted her. As one parent said, "If she can handle a room full of teens and a browser full of chaos, she deserves a raise." 36. The CEO who live-streamed a nervous breakdown in PowerPoint form. During a tense corporate update, a CEO tried to deliver a motivational speech about embracing challenges. Unfortunately, his PowerPoint betrayed him. Slide 1 read quarterly results, but slide 2 simply said, "Why is everything on fire?" He didn't notice until a horrified intern whispered, "Sir, they can see that." He sighed, stared straight into the camera and said, "You know what? That's accurate." The honesty hit a nerve. Employees flooded the chat with supportive emojis. The clip leaked online, and people dubbed it the most honest meeting in corporate history. Months later, the CEO leaned into the chaos, printing, "Why is everything on fire?" mugs for his entire staff. They sold out instantly online. 37. The pastor who accidentally used the wrong filter. During an online sermon, a pastor tried to inspire his flock about walking in the light, except Zoom had applied a filter that turned him into a cartoon potato. He didn't notice until a child in the chat wrote, "Pastor, are you starchy now?" Without missing a beat, he sighed and said, "The Lord works in mysterious potatoes." The congregation erupted in laughter, and the clip went viral worldwide. Instead of embarrassment, he embraced the joke, preaching the next week while surrounded by real potatoes with googly eyes. He called it Spud Sunday and raised thousands for charity. His takeaway: if you can't change the filter, change the message. Sometimes faith isn't about perfection, it's about having Wi-Fi and a good sense of humor. 38. The pilot who forgot he was still on the cabin mic. A commercial pilot was making his descent announcement when he accidentally left his cabin mic on for a full 5 minutes. Passengers listened as he complained about traffic at the airport, discussed dinner plans, I swear if my wife makes meatloaf again, and sang along passionately to Sweet Caroline. When he finally realized what had happened, there was a stunned silence, followed by a plane-wide standing ovation. The airline released a statement calling it an unplanned morale-building moment. The pilot leaned into the fame, later recording a charity single called Final Approach, Ba Ba Ba. Every flight after that, passengers secretly hoped he'd forget to turn the mic off again. 39. The scientist who accidentally invented meme history. A researcher went live to explain how penguins survive extreme cold. A serious educational broadcast streamed to thousands of classrooms. But halfway through, he slipped on the ice and let out a shriek that could have summoned dogs from 6 continents. Instead of cutting the feed, he popped back up, covered in snow, and continued the lecture with frozen dignity, muttering, "And that, kids, is called friction." The clip hit 50 million views by morning. Students turned it into the meme, The Penguin Principle. Anything dumb but resilient. The scientist later joked, "I didn't just study penguins. I became one." 40. The gamer grandma who thought she was on Skype. A grandmother wanted to chat with her grandson and accidentally joined his live Twitch stream mid-match. Viewers suddenly heard her soft voice say, "Sweetheart, are you eating enough vegetables?" The grandson froze, mid-gunfight, whispering, "Grandma, 2,000 people can hear you." She replied, "Then maybe 2,000 people need to eat better." The internet fell in love instantly. Her wholesome scolding turned into a viral soundbite called Eat Your Greens Gamer. Within weeks, she had her own Twitch channel, Non-FPS, where she streams knitting tutorials between competitive matches. She didn't just forget she was live, she conquered it. 41. The chef who live-streamed a fire. A celebrity chef decided to host a live 30-minute gourmet challenge. It lasted 12 minutes before his flambe turned into a full-blown kitchen inferno. He calmly stared at the flames, said, "We're improvising," and tried to smother the blaze with a tortilla. Viewers watched in horror and delight as smoke filled the room. The fire alarm blared, but he kept narrating, "This, friends, is what we call rustic atmosphere." The fire department arrived midstream, waving at the camera as fans spammed heart emojis. The clip went viral under the name Hell's Kitchen Actual Edition. The chef later sold the burnt pan for charity, calling it abstract cookware. 42. The politician who live-streamed his own vacation. A local mayor meant to record a short thank you message for a charity event, but accidentally hit Go Live. He then spent 2 hours unknowingly streaming his tropical vacation, cocktails, karaoke, and one very questionable attempt at hula dancing. The internet dubbed it Margaritaville, the campaign edition. When he realized what had happened, he went silent for 10 seconds, then said, "Well, I hope my constituents like honesty." To his shock, they did. The clip made him the most relatable politician in town. His next slogan practically wrote itself, "No secrets, just sunscreen." 43. The journalist who got upstaged by a seagull. A reporter was doing a live beach broadcast when a seagull swooped in and stole her sandwich mid-sentence. She screamed, dropped her mic, and chased it down the boardwalk while the camera operator, bless their professionalism, kept rolling. The bird triumphantly circled back into frame, still clutching the bread like a trophy. The station replayed the moment for days with slow motion and epic music. Viewers named the bird Gary Gullman and demanded merch. The journalist handled it with grace, tweeting, "I lost my lunch, but gained an icon." To this day, she's still introduced on panels as the woman who lost to a bird on live TV. 44. The teacher who accidentally activated a disco filter. During a serious online history lecture about World War II, a high school teacher accidentally turned on a zoom filter that filled her screen with rainbow lasers and confetti. For 10 glorious minutes, she narrated the Battle of Normandy under flashing strobe lights, while disco music echoed faintly in the background. Students were too entertained to correct her. When she finally noticed, she sighed and said, "Well, if you can't find the light in dark times," the internet declared it history with sparkles. Even the principal admitted, it's the first time teenagers have voluntarily rewatched a history lesson. 45. The meteorologist who got hit by his own graphic. A weatherman was explaining an incoming storm when his 3D map glitched and the animated hurricane spun straight into his virtual face. He staggered back, yelling, "We've made contact!" Viewers couldn't stop laughing. The clip became known as "When Forecasts Attack." Instead of embarrassment, he owned it, opening every broadcast afterward with, "Let's see what's flying at me today." Ratings doubled. 46. The lawyer who became a cat. In an online court hearing, a lawyer appeared on screen with a filter that turned him into a fluffy, white kitten. "I'm not a cat, Your Honor," he pleaded, blinking in digital panic. The judge replied, "I can see that." The entire internet united for once to worship Cat Lawyer. Within hours, t-shirts, remixes, and NFTs appeared. He later said, "I've argued hundreds of cases. None got this kind of publicity." 47. The artist who fell asleep on stream. An art student decided to live stream her painting process. Hours passed, and she nodded off mid-brushstroke. For the next 4 hours, thousands watched her snore gently beside an unfinished sunset. When she finally woke up, her chat was filled with comments like, "Best performance piece ever." Critics called it a metaphor for burnout. She just called it Tuesday. 48. The magician who forgot his trick was on loop. A magician tried to perform a live disappearing act on YouTube, but accidentally set the video to loop. For 20 minutes, viewers watched him vanish, reappear, smile, and vanish again, endlessly. The chat exploded with theories that he'd achieved immortality. When he realized the error, he simply bowed and said, "It worked." He's now booked solid at tech conferences worldwide as the Glitch Wizard. Humans may forget the camera's on, but the internet never does. It's always recording our finest chaos.